What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another weekly industry roundup brought to you by Mystro and Uberman. Today is Sunday, November the 18th, 2018, and the first article that I thought belonged in this roundup was Woman Calls 911 for Help Getting an Uber. Now, that was just something I've never seen before, so I had to see what this was. So that's number one on my list today. Boca Raton, Florida. A woman was arrested for misuse of the wireless 911 system after authorities said she called police to help her arrange an Uber ride. According to the report, the Boca Raton Emergency Center received a call from a woman asking for police assistance but couldn't provide them further information. When police arrived in the area, the woman was attempting to flag a police car down. The woman, identified as Emma Powell, said she called police because she needed help requesting an Uber. The officers helped the woman get an Uber and watched her drive away without incident. 2 minutes later, Powell called 911 again. This time she was asking for water from the officers. The Uber returned to the area where she was still on a call with 911 dispatchers. Powell was placed under arrest for using the emergency-only line for a purpose other than obtaining public safety assistance. So there you have it. If you abuse the 911 system, you're going to go to jail. So that was number one. Moving on, number two on my list. Lyft adds in-ride tipping, drops the lowest rating in its latest update for drivers. Lyft wants to keep its drivers happy and is rolling out a series of updates to keep them driving for its service and not other competitors. On Thursday, the number two ride-sharing service added several enhancements to improve its relationship with its drivers. While none of the perks is as flashy as Uber's points program that can give drivers a free college education through Arizona State University's online program, there are still welcome updates to make the experience of driving better. Among the notable new additions, in-ride tipping, automatically dropping a driver's lowest rating for every 100 rides they give, and a default 5-star rating if the rider forgets to rate their driver. Now that is a big deal. Lyft will additionally require ratings of 4 stars or lower to be explained by riders, with low ratings given due to factors outside the driver's control, such as heavy traffic, no longer counting against the driver. That's probably the biggest one on my list right there. The company is also adding a new default tipping option, allowing riders to set a tip percentage that the company will automatically apply to each ride they take, as opposed to the current system of manually adding the tips after a ride. A new schedule feature will allow drivers to plan their week in advance by looking at when Lyft thinks demand will be the highest. The new features come in part of a Driver Advisory Council, a group the company created in 2016 to improve the relationship with its drivers. As part of this program, Lyft also says it's committing to rolling out at least one new feature or enhancement each month based off feedback of drivers. Now, while I think this is amazing, I think this is great, this is perfect, this is phenomenal, and I'm sure a lot of you are going to agree, I do have to say, Uber did the exact same thing, and it seems to have paid off. So I think we can look at Uber and the way they did their 12 months of change, or 12 months of whatever it was called, something like that, and you can see that when you do listen to drivers, the app functions a whole lot better. The app is more usable, it's more driver-friendly, and ultimately drivers win from things like this. So I'm very happy to see these improvements coming to Lyft, as we've already seen them come to fruition within the Uber app. Number 3 on my list, rideshare driver warns prospective drivers of risks following crash. Now, this is something that I have gone over a million times on my old Uberman channel. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to reach everyone. So things like this continue happening, and drivers need to know. This is important information. This is out of Phoenix, and it was posted November 12th. A rideshare driver has a warning for those looking to get into ride-sharing. If you end up getting in a wreck while working, you could be stuck with a bill, and a large one at that. So this Lyft driver caught another driver in a truck weaving and swerving all over the road, and in the accident you actually can see the driver get rear-ended by this truck, and it was a pretty violent hit, man. It was pretty bad. This guy had a Ford C-Max. Significant damage was done to this. I mean, it's a little car hit by a big truck. Long story short, the truck had no insurance. And now the rideshare driver is stuck with a car that he can't drive. He's out of work, and Lyft says, hey, we are going to cover the damage, but we need a $2,500 deductible. And this guy is sitting here going, a what? How many people have $2,500, just sitting around in case something happens? Not many, especially when you're talking about the rideshare industry. Not many drivers are going to have $2,500 sitting in the bank just in case. Now with Uber, there's a $1,000 deductible. That is much more reasonable. $2,500, in my opinion, is just way, way too high. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, that is what the terms of service state. Uber's clearly says the deductible is $1,000, and Lyft's has clearly stated and always stated that their deductible is $2,500. It is very important before you go out driving around for a rideshare that you understand the terms of service that you're agreeing to. And if you don't, you need to ask questions, get some clarification. This is a serious job. It's not just fun and games out there driving around and, having a great time. There are some real serious legalities with this job, and you need to understand what you're getting into. So highly recommend you have a rideshare addendum attached to your personal insurance policy, because, ladies and gentlemen, personal insurance policy will not now nor ever cover commercial driving or rideshare driving. So you need to see what your policy covers, and you need to understand that if you have either an at-fault accident or you're in an accident that's the fault of another party with no insurance, you are going to be stuck paying either a $1,000 Uber deductible or a $2,500 Lyft deductible. So you need to make sure you've got that kind of money put back in the event something like this happens. That is going to be it for your weekly roundup. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you being here, as does Mystro. We always look forward to doing this weekly roundup every Sunday, so stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for next week's Mystro weekly roundup. Stay safe out there, everyone, and we will catch you very, very soon in the next one.